Clearly, this listing changes the playing field quite extensively because, as Chris mentioned in the package, essentially before to own ordinary shares of Clover, you'd have to be a producer.
Yes, but we have been busy with the transformation for the last 5 years. We've acted as a public company in the last 6 years. So the public domain is not very difficult for us. So I think the conversion will probably not be that difficult for us going from public company to a listed environment.
You also plan to raise around 500 million rand, 150 million rand allocated to acquisitions. Let's start off with that. What have you got your eye on?
We've eventually raised 575 million rand, of which 350 million will go to the projects, as we've explained. The rest will be a combination of reducing debt and acquisitive opportunities. But I must just say at this point in time that milk is a very important carrier for us to get us into the retailers. We deliver daily, so that frequency is a fantastic enabler for us to put other products on. So we will never neglect dairy. It's very important for us.
Of course, I mean, as you diversify your stable, obviously you're going to get new focal points. Let's look at your new project called Cielo Blue, and essentially it's a legacy issue that you've got most of your operations inland and now you're trying to move most of them to the coast. How is this going to change the volume scenario that is going to play out for you, and obviously that in turn will assist in you getting bigger market share, surely?
Yes, at the moment we are carting up milk between 12 and 14 hours from the coastal regions, so we want to take some of the equipment there and put it into the coastal areas. That will eliminate that raw milk purchase, and it will make us more competitive as we will get margin gain. As we get margin gain on the milk side, we will also then be able to compete with some of the other beverages products that we have grown successfully over the last 5 years, and all of that will then enable us to get the flywheel going, so to speak. So the more volumes, the better efficiencies, etc.
Oh, you're talking about margins on milk. What is your current margin on milk?
On dairy we make between 3 and 6%, and on our beverages business above 10%.
And obviously now with the operations being more efficient, you plan to increase that margin. What are you targeting?
We are targeting above inflation, but definitely much higher than GDP growth. So I can't give you specifics around that.
Well, your gross margin grew to 27.8% for the year ended to June. So that's what we're looking at overall for the entire company.
Exactly.
Let's touch on the Competition Commission, because Clover is still under the spotlight, so too are other milk processors and dairy processors. What is your view on this, given the fact that the milk industry, the dairy industry, has been making a noise for a very long time that processors such as yourselves, in fact, pressurize the producers to sell milk at a certain level?
Yes, if you look at the recent Woodlands case, our case was put on the back burner by the Competition Commission because they wanted to deal with Woodlands case first, which is similar to ours. And they have successfully defended that. And so we are waiting the approach from the Competition Commission, how they want to take it forward. But certainly none of the processors have asked for leniency except us on the sea milk. So that will give you an indication. Normally in these investigations somebody goes for leniency, and in this case nothing like that has happened.
Is there collusion in the milk industry?
No.
So tell us about how you get your contracts with your producers.
We have a very unique milk purchasing quota system. The quota has been given to them over the last 100 years. It's very sought after. It transacts between them. For example, we had 3,000 farmers when I started there. Today we have 200 very successful businessmen delivering more milk. And that is quota that they've been buying up. So we have a fixed perpetual right contract with them.
Would you ever consider going into milk producing as well, to diversify your business even further? Input costs too high, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, we will not integrate vertically. It's not a business case in the rest of the world either.
Let's touch on the risks going forward. I mean, what kind of risks are you looking at? You haven't quoted as saying that cyclicality is one of your big issues. And then we have massive volatility, and we've got oversupply, and then we have undersupply, which of course also creates a lot of fluctuations and creates quite a bit of havoc with those margins going forward as well.
Yes, I would imagine that imports could play a role, as well as the land grab. Some of our farms are under investigation. In terms of the cyclicality, we have changed our business model quite substantially over the last 5 years. We don't do bulk cheese or powders anymore, and those are the products that are normally more susceptible for these risks, these cyclical risks. So we are now only in brands, and we intend to stay in those brands.
Some of the analysts I spoke to this morning, with regards to Clover and whether they would be interested in getting some of the shares, they say that agricultural sector is already in itself very volatile, and buying into Clover would just compound the volatility and the risks that you would add onto your portfolio. What is the investment case out there for analysts interested in Clover?
We believe that we've done enough to take the volume risk out of the business, so we're only price risk takers. Once you do that, then at least if you're, for example, in our case, we have everything through the brands. Once you've got it through the brands, then you eliminate some of the price volatility as well. So we think we've done enough to, but we will always be in agriculture, but to eliminate the extent of the cyclical movement.
Let's touch on KWV. There were rumours that you'd be interested in acquiring the company. Of course, Pioneer Foods also in that stable, and we've also heard that a UK business is interested in this. Your thoughts on that? Because during your presentation, during the listing, you said that it actually wouldn't suit the Clover stable.
No, the question was raised whether KWV could benefit from the infrastructure of Clover, which of course that is positive. We are envied by many competitors out there for our logistics arm of our business. Whether Clover would be interested, definitely not. It doesn't fit our product range. It also doesn't fit our delivery range. So we would not be interested in acquiring KWV.
And Johann, very quickly before I say goodbye, looking into Africa, any plans to head into the continent?
Africa is everybody's dream. Route to market is very difficult there, and we wouldn't like to rush into it. So very cautious, and we've got some pilots in some of the countries.
Johann, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the time this morning.